Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Healthy Moving Podcast, the show that empowers you to exercise less, but move more so you will feel better. I am your healthy moving enthusiast, Jen Hoffman from healthymoving.com. Positive body image is a huge topic for me and focus in my work. So women often ask me how to help instill a positive body image in their kids. That's what today's show is all about. Listen, I'm committed to making these podcasts short, digestible, and actionable. But feeling good in and about your body, it's a big topic. Big, but not impossible. I teach a free 1-hour class on some simple steps you can take to rediscover how amazing your body is and to be the best caretaker of it. It's called the No Time Exercise Solution Class, my 4-step system for women who don't have time to work out. You can get yourself registered for an upcoming free live session at healthymoving.com/free class, or you can text the words no time, no spaces, just NOTIME to 33444. Okay, on to the show. Whether we're parents, grandparents, aunts or uncles, or just loving adults in the village of children, we all have a role to play in helping shape the way our kids see themselves. If we aren't intentional about this, society is going to assume that role for us. And I think we can all generally agree that this is not a job to leave up to pop culture. Let me just say from the start, I often see this conversation centered on girls, and I completely get why. The messaging coming at our daughters is pretty scary. But as a mom of 1 daughter and 2 sons, I don't underestimate my job in helping to shape the way all 3 of my children see not only their own body, but the human body in general. So I'm lovingly inviting you to try to have these discussions with all the kids in your life. If you've struggled with your own body image, this can be a super hard and uncomfortable thing to address with your kids. And boy, do our kids have a way of making us face all the hard stuff in ourselves, right? But in order to help them feel good about their bodies, we have to really love and appreciate our own bodies. So do that work. I promise it's worth it. And if you want resources from me to help out, you can check out episode 33 of the Healthy Moving Podcast and also that free class that I mentioned at the top of the show. Okay, so you're going to model positive body image, but it's also important to pay attention to how you talk to children about their bodies as well. And that's what we're focusing on today. Out of our own love and adoration, or maybe our hope that we can convince them, we often shower our kids with praise. You look beautiful. You're so pretty. You're so handsome. Sharon Holbrook wrote an article in the Washington Post that went viral a few years ago called "Little Girls Don't Need to Be Told They're Pretty." I'll put a link to it in the show notes. In it, she said, "The more I talk about beauty and looks, even in a positive way, the more I'm conveying the importance of those things. The more I compliment them for being pretty, the more they're going to crave hearing it. And I don't want to send a girl who needs to hear she's beautiful out into our culture, a culture that has such a narrow definition of that word, beautiful, and such a wide array of things to sell her so that she can attempt to meet that definition." I love what Holbrook's saying there. She clearly wants to protect and nurture her daughters. But here's the thing. I've been working with women on body image for nearly 15 years, and I'm convinced of one thing. The desire to feel beautiful, to feel good about your body, it's primal. I think we're wired with it. We can't talk our kids or ourselves out of wanting to feel good about our bodies. I know many of us have tried to stop saying things like, "You look so pretty," by replacing it with things like, "You're so strong," or "You're so smart." But I don't think these are that great either. At least not as our primary strategy for building self-confidence and respect and appreciation for others. When we tell our kids how smart and strong they are, what are we saying to them about others who may not be as strong or as smart, or even about weakness in general? See, I'm not just interested in raising kids who feel good about themselves. I want them to see beauty and strength in everyone around them as well. I want them to be body positive about everybody. And you know what else? I think allowing our weaknesses, our vulnerabilities to live out in the light, it's one of the most beautiful things. So I'm concerned that all the "you're so strong" messages are going to interfere with their ability to see beauty in weakness, in themselves or in others. Here's the thing. I think it's okay for us to express genuine compliments when they bubble up from within. I don't want you to feel like you can't speak to your kids about the things that you find wonderful about them. But we can't compliment our children into a positive body image. And I think that's what many of us who've suffered to see our own beauty often try to do. When we try to convince our kids that they're beautiful because we say they are, we teach them that someone else decides. We teach them to look outside of themselves to determine and assess their own beauty. And we communicate that it's okay for them to judge other people against their own definition of beauty. As adults looking to help the next generation of kids feel amazing in and about their bodies, we have to teach them to turn inside to discover their own beauty. We do this by helping them to shift from their head down to their gut. See, all the external messages about beauty, they live up in our minds, our thoughts, what we see on TV or in print, what that mean girl at school once said to us, or even compliments others have paid to us. Our kids' minds, their thoughts about beauty, are so easily manipulated by outsiders. Their gut, though, it has an ironclad security system. It's got a state-of-the-art, no one's getting in defense. Their gut's definition of beauty always includes themselves. If our kids, if we can all just get out of our busy minds and down into our deepest intuition, we will see our own beauty. This is really about a shift from thinking to feeling. We can help our kids to do this in a very real and tangible way by routinely asking a simple question. How does that feel? I try to ask my kids, even the baby, that question multiple times a day. When my daughter does her own hair, I try to let the first words out of my mouth be, "You did it all by yourself. How does it feel?" Or my son gets dressed on his own. "Wow, you did it. How do you feel?" This question gets them out of their head and into their body. It helps them cultivate a strong sense of their own beauty and also teaches them compassion and resilience. I use it for mediating sibling arguments. How did that feel when your sister started crying after you knocked over her block tower? Or how did it feel when he took that from you? Or I use it for times like when my daughter, after lots of work and trial and error, goes all the way across the monkey bars. The first words out of my mouth, "How did it feel?" And listen, after she shares her own feelings about this accomplishment, I do share mine as well. I tell her how proud I am of her, that she kept trying when it wasn't easy, and that she worked hard to build up the strength to do it. I just want her to seek internal validation first. I even use this with the baby. I try to sportscast his feelings for him. You feel sad, you want mama to hold you. Friends, teaching our children to turn inward, it helps them to cultivate a strong sense of self, a confidence that empowers them to push back on any messages that contradict their own internal compass, an appreciation for real beauty, and an ability to see it in themselves and others. That is what we want to send them into the world with. I have a dear friend whose 8-year-old daughter has been getting teased at school. It's gotten to the point that that sweet girl told her mama she wants to get surgery to get rid of her belly. I'm choking back the tears now. My heart just breaks, and I know that as a mom, I want to use all the words to try to overpower the messages this girl is getting at school. You're strong, you're beautiful, you're perfect just as you are. All of those things are 100% true. But if I just say those, that keeps the battle raging in her head. Is what mom says about me true? Or are these other kids right? Instead, we want to help her quiet the conflict and feel a deep sense of her own beauty and worth. So here's what I would do. Get her in her body. Take her for a walk. Lay down on the grass under a starry sky and have her put her hands on that perfect belly of hers. Begin the conversation with something like, "Tell me about all the thoughts going through your mind right now." And when she begins to tell you what others have said about her body, help her turn inward. How do you feel about your body? Tell her that you believe that our bodies let us know if something's wrong, that our bodies send us signals all the time to let us know when it needs something, kind of like how our stomach growls when we're hungry, or how we get that uh-oh feeling in our belly when something isn't safe, or that really happy feeling when something is wonderful. Ask her about a time she heard a signal from her body and followed it. What happened? We have two jobs in this conversation. One is to ask questions that help them turn inward. And the second one is to listen. Friend, that listening part, it's critical. And it's hard, especially as our kids get older and they're processing negative social experiences. We have to work really hard to not project our own experiences, feelings, and thoughts onto them. They need a listening ear and a gentle invitation to shift from external messages to internal ones. This is a shift for most of us. I get that, and I still have to work hard to remember myself. But it's worth the effort, friends. Our kids need a strong sense of their own beauty and the ability to see it in others. And the words we choose, they have great power. How do you feel? Ask that question frequently. It's a game changer. Okay, friends, that's all for today. Don't forget, I'd love to have you join me for my free No Time Exercise Solution class. To get yourself registered, just text No Time to 33444 or head to healthymoving.com/free class. I'll also put a link over in the show notes for episode 38 at healthymovingpodcast.com. And you know what else is there? A sharing link. If you know someone who could use this message, send them the link. Let's free the next generation of kids from the body image struggles we've all experienced. If you like what you'd hear, be sure to head to healthymoving.com/iTunes and follow the steps to subscribe, rate, and review the show. I so appreciate your feedback, and it also helps others who are strolling through iTunes looking for a good podcast to accompany them on a walk. Thank you for doing that and for listening. Until next time, friends, keep moving.